All right, I think it's time to get started. Thank you everyone for being here for online marketing now and later. Keep your practice packed all year long. So we do have on the right-hand side an area where you can leave questions, comments. I will not be able to hear you during the webinar, so please keep that in mind. And if you do have any questions, we will have a Q&A session at the conclusion of this presentation. My name is Lindsay Adams. I am an account development consultant here at iMatrix. This 60-minute course will introduce you to updated online marketing strategies that you need to build a strong online presence that drives patients to your practice immediately and in the months and years to come. I have been with iMatrix for about a year. I've been in online marketing for about 4 years, and I look forward to speaking about PPC, pay-per-click, as well as organic SEO with you guys today. We have a lot to get through. I will try to save some time, like I said, for Q&A at the end. Keep in mind, we are recording this presentation, so if you need to leave early or something comes up, we will send you a link via email for your convenience at the end of this presentation. All right, let's get started. So here is what we'll be covering in today's presentation. What is PPC, pay-per-click, and the impact of mobile search, mobile PPC strategies, the latest in search engine optimization for long-term success, the role of content in improving organic ranking, and exactly why these marketing techniques should be used together to keep patients flowing to your practice now and for years to come. All right, so now versus later, a comparison. We have this nice tree comparison here. This is actually an example I love and I use a lot of times with my clients, explaining the difference between pay-per-click and organic SEO. So to start us off, SEO, search engine optimization. Google is an example of a search engine. It has an algorithm that it uses to determine the ranking of search results on its page. Okay. PPC is paid advertising. Organic SEO is going to be below the map section in, for example, for Google. The difference here is short-term versus long-term. Pay-per-click immediately drives new traffic with no lasting impact on your organic SEO. It can be expensive to rank #1, and it's paid cost per click. SEO, search engine optimization done organically, takes time to build authority. It has this evergreen effect. It can be difficult to rank #1. It's essentially free as in there is no cost to click. So again, the way that I describe it is we want visibility. We want those top 3 spots on Google that has the highest visibility, which in turn turns into the highest traffic to your website. SEO is equivalent to growing a tree. We really need to invest content, which I'll get into a little bit later about what organic SEO is. And we want those roots to grow. It can take longer, but then it's fruitful on its own, and then we have the fruit. Whereas pay-per-click is similar to we went to the farmer's market, or as you see in this example here, you pick the fruit directly from the tree. We have the fruit, but once we run out, we have to buy more. So the end game is the same. We want traffic to your website. We want new patients. We want new clients. It's just a matter of how do we get there? Are we wanting to have those clients in tomorrow? We need that steady stream of revenue. Or are we looking for that longer-term plan with organic SEO, or both? So we'll discuss all of that during this webinar presentation. What's involved in pay-per-click, what's involved in organic SEO, how do we get there, how do we run an efficient and effective campaign, and Are you a candidate for one or the other or both? What is paid advertising? So this is pay-per-click. Pay-per-click marketing, or PPC, is pretty simple. Search engines like Google and Bing allow businesses and individuals to buy listings in their search results. These listings appear along with the natural non-paid search results. These ads are sold in an auction, and you bid what you want to pay for a click on the ad. Bid the most and you have a chance of ranking #1 in the sponsored results. Note that I said a chance. There's also something called a quality score that can impact your ranking. And I'll get more into that in a minute. If someone clicks on your PPC listing, they arrive at your website and you are charged the amount of your bid, hence pay per click. So if you bid 15 cents per click on a specific keyword, and that's the highest bid, you'll probably show up first in line. If 100 people click on your PPC listing, then the search engine or PPC service will charge you $15. So that's essentially how PPC works. You can pay to have that top spot. If you have used Google, you'll see those top 3 ads, or maybe on the right-hand side, that is the PPC AdWords campaign Google runs. Again, other search engines do pay-per-click as well. Of the top 5 U.S. search engines, Google is undisputedly on top as far as being the most used search engine, so I'd encourage you to focus your efforts there. Okay, a warning on PPC. PPC advertising can cost a fortune. It's easy to get caught up in a bidding war over a particular keyword and end up spending far more than your potential return. There is ego-based bidding, where maybe a CEO or marketer or someone else decides that they must be #1 no matter what. This can cost thousands of dollars. Also, bid inflation consistently raises the per-click cost for highly searched phrases. While you certainly want your listing displayed on Google and or Bing, you may not want your listings to show up and generating clicks from some of the deeper, darker corners of the internet. So the resulting traffic may look good in statistic, like reports, but you have to separate out partner network campaigns and carefully manage them if you're going to see a return. Meaning, I would advise that you don't submit your credit card information to a pay-per-click campaign and kind of let it run free. It's something that needs to be managed daily. We'll get more into what that looks like, but just wanted to forewarn, there is potential for success here, but again, there are a lot of nuances that are involved in a highly effective pay-per-click campaign. Why is pay-per-click good? Pay-per-click advertising can generate traffic right away. It's simple. Spend enough, get that top placement, and potential customers will see you first. If folks are searching for the key phrases on which you bid and you've placed a well-written ad, you will get clicks the moment the ad is activated. So again, it's like that fruit analogy. Right away we're getting a very fruitful campaign, but it needs to be done appropriately. Attract more customers, whether you're looking to bring in new website visitors, grow online sales, get the phones ringing, or keep customers coming back for more, PPC can help. We reach the right people at the right time. So another benefit of pay-per-click, your business gets found by people precisely when they're searching for the things that you offer. Advertise locally or globally. You can target your ads to customers in certain neighborhoods, regions, cities, or within even a set distance from your business or store. So there's a lot of nuances in how you run your pay-per-click, and you'll want to have a thoughtful strategy put into place as far as where you want to target, where do you want these ads showing up. You only pay for the results, so as the name says, pay per click. No visit, no fee. Signing up for Google AdWords is essentially free. but you will pay when someone clicks your ad to visit your website or calls you. In other words, when your advertising is working. And again, that is heeding our forewarning about wanting to make sure your ad is showing up in front of the appropriate audience. That is when we'll see it being effective. We don't want to waste clicks. We want to make sure that our pay-per-click campaign is strategically thought out. You can get your business found with PPC, whether you're looking to attract new web visitors, like we talked about. We can target specific demographics, neighborhoods, services that you provide, so we can really pinpoint who we want to see and what we want that advertisement to be for. So very specific. We can also connect with customers across the web. You can reach relevant customers on relevant websites across the web. A range of options let you target by website type, audience type, or remarketing when and where it matters. So again, specific demographics can make it a much more successful campaign, and PPC gives us the ability to do that. There's also measurable, accountable, flexible results. So we'll actually, with a PPC campaign, be able to see how many people notice your ads, what percentage click to visit your website or call you. There are tracking tools. You can even see the actual sales your website is generating as a direct result of these ads. And you can tweak it. Try new search terms. You can pause your campaign or restart it. Again, everything wants to be done thoughtfully. If you're spending the money, you want to make sure you're spending it in the right way. You can reach your customers whichever device they're on. So in today's mobile world, you need to be advertising on every device that your customers are using, whether it's desktop, laptop, tablet, and mobile. That way, when they're searching, browsing, or buying, you are right there. So making it work. We want to do a few things with pay-per-click. Track conversions, number one. If you want to stay on budget, you have to track conversions. Number two, manage your PPC dollars. Set a sensible budget. Again, this is what we kind of forewarned about in the beginning. Want to make sure that this is managed daily. So this isn't one of those you enter in your credit card information and then you leave it and forget it. That could get you into a lot of trouble. So I just want to reiterate that. When it's managed appropriately, it can do a lot of great things for your business. Third, find niche keywords. Focus on narrow, focused keywords. So rather than general keywords, and this is something we'll get into momentarily on the next slide, long-tailed key terms using common conversational pieces. So finding niche keywords rather than generic can be more cost-effective and even find you those warm leads. Number four, good writing. Don't ignore it. Most pay-per-click advertising requires that you write a couple short descriptive phrases about your service. Do not underestimate the importance of this. So we want dynamically written ads. Make sure at a minimum that your grammar and spelling and overall language is correct and appropriate for your audience. So this is huge. This is what people will see, and it's in that moment they'll make the decision to make the click or not. So very important that you put a lot of thought into these ads. They need to be dynamic. Talk about the benefit. Talk about the service. Similar to a resume, it's the first impression. You want to make sure you look it over, check grammar, check spelling, and all of that. And lastly, go for quality. Remember what I said about the quality score. So Google, Bing, they all have this thing called quality score in which they examine your ad. They examine your ad performance. They examine the quality of the page to which the ad points, which is your website, or even better would be to create a landing page directly for that, that ad that you've created. And based on various factors in all three places, The search engines will either increase or decrease the bid amount necessary for you to gain a specific position. So again, there are a lot of nuances that go into a pay-per-click campaign. This is just vaguely, briefly going over it to give you a general idea of where to get started. A Google certified individual would be able to understand the nuances and complexities involved in a pay-per-click campaign. This, like I said, is not a pay and leave it service. It needs to be managed daily. All right. All right, so now we're going to look at mobile pay-per-click strategies. By this, I mean when you do a pay-per-click campaign, what you write for your ads, the content for that is going to be different than what you would write for mobile. So similar to how here at iMatrix we encourage to have a mobile-friendly website, we also need to be aware of the difference between a desktop pay-per-click campaign versus a mobile pay-per-click strategy. And by that I mean the ads will be written a little bit differently. So starting us off, we want call-only campaigns. We want to make sure that we have click-to-call functionality. This is fast. This makes it easy. When someone is on a mobile phone, and what we know is about 61% of smartphone owners are performing searches from their device every single day. Consumers spend like 15 hours per week researching from their smartphones. I know I'm on mine all the time, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So we want to make it click to call, easy to use. If we can get their attention with our pay-per-click ad, we want to make sure that they can contact us right in that moment. Again, we spoke about this in our previous slide, natural language. So conversational and longer tail keywords are very important, not only to find that niche market, which can lower your costs, and also find those warm leads for you of people that are already looking to purchase. That has to do with who, what, versus when, where. So, for example, where is the nearest chiropractor? Or where is a chiropractor to fix back pain? Or where is a vet with dental cleanings for dogs? Where is an optometrist who provides vision therapy? So that is conversational, longer tail keywords. Rather than just chiropractor or just vet or just optometrist, this is how people are making searches, whether they're using Siri when they're driving and they need to use the microphone to make a Google search to find what they're looking for, or a lot of times we just type what we're thinking into Google. And so it's important that we're thinking from a business point, what are our potential clients going to be entering in to the Google search, and that's what we want to make sure we're aiming for as well. Studies show that people who search question phrases like where is are further along in the decision process than people who search what or who is. So we want to use this to target our PPC ads to people searching for immediate service. So these are warm leads, and this is the huge benefit of a pay-per-click campaign that is managed effectively. We also, like I mentioned, we need mobile-specific copy. This needs to be done immediately. If you're already running a pay-per-click campaign or if you're thinking about it, make sure that this is done, meaning the ads need to be written for mobile. If you are copying and pasting the ad from a desktop, it may not fit. If you look at a mobile phone device screen, vastly different than a desktop. We have less space there, and we want to make sure, similar to a mobile-friendly website, that we have mobile-friendly pay-per-click ads and landing pages. We want to be brief and legible. There's not a lot of space. We want it to be professional. Again, we want it to be well-designed. similar to having a well-designed website, visually appealing, we want to make sure that anything associated with the pay-per-click campaign, whether it's a landing page or the ad itself, we want to make sure it's brief, legible, makes a good first impression. We don't want those errors or to become distractions for these potential clients and patients. Also, again, reiterating, have a clear call to action. We only have a few seconds to catch the attention of this potential business. If someone is online looking and they want to find, most of the time if someone is doing research for their purchasing decision, they are going to be making a purchasing decision. If we can get them to click on our ad or onto our website, we want to have a clear call to action, whether it's call, and we have a click to call. We have a form for them to fill out. We have a request appointment. We have a chat system in place. All of those are call to actions so that we can get that lead. Very important that it's right away, it's easy to use, that it's really apparent, and that's going to help with the effectiveness of your pay-per-click campaign. So that is a fairly simple overview of pay-per-click. Again, if we have questions at the end, we'll address that. I want to take a look now at organic SEO. So if you remember the visual in the beginning of this webinar presentation, we had the tree where we were picking the fruit, right? We were purchasing it to have it immediately. But once we used the fruit, we had to buy more. So that's pay-per-click. Now we're looking at, we're tree and we're growing it ourselves. Longer term takes a little longer. We're looking to grow those roots, and those roots are going to be high quality websites, and I'll go into what that looks like for us. Okay. And just to reiterate, SEO, organic SEO, is going to be those organic search results that Google has decided are really what we call, quote, the most authoritative or most expert results for a specific keyword in a specific area. So that's why it can vary depending on how competitive it is for that keyword or how competitive your specific geo-targeted area is. A lot of different factors go into your ranking. Google has an algorithm and it's thousands of pieces. It changes. Pretty much every day they change pieces of it. Sometimes Google will have an actual large update, which I'll talk about in the next slide, that can affect how it's viewing SEO. But we know reviews are important. We know activity and content. And the reason SEO is important is because we know those top 3 spots generate about 60% of all the clicks on a search. So when someone does a search on Google, 60% of the clicks go to those top 3 spots. So that is huge for a business. Having traffic drive to your website, there's a lot of potential patients and clients in those top 3 areas that we want to take advantage of. That top spot is going to get the most, about 25%. The second gets about 17 to 18, third about 12. SEO is a long-term process that builds on itself, and it gains momentum with time. Implementing a strong search engine optimization strategy with heavy emphasis on custom content sets you up to benefit from that action months and years down the road. So again, that tree analogy. And continue to establish a strong online presence that drives new patients to your practice online and in person. So we'll go into a little bit more detail as far as what does custom content look like, why does it matter, and how do we do that? All right. As I mentioned before about the algorithm that Google uses to determine your placement in a search result, one of Google's recent algorithm updates, which is the Hummingbird update, gives the vast search engine the ability to process longer tail conversational search queries. It also penalizes websites that practice keyword stuffing. So I'd like to talk a little about what to do and then go into a little bit about what not to do as far as improving our organic SEO ranking. It is a two-sided process, and essentially Google has these little robots. They call them bots, I think, and they crawl through your web pages, and they can read everything about your web pages. And it's not just you; they do it to everything and everybody on the web. Google is all-knowing, and it is able to read unique content. It can read backlinks. It can read duplicated content. It can tell if you're doing black market practices and purchasing links that are yours. And so we'll get more into what does that look like, but that's essentially how it works. Google indexes your website every 4 to 6 weeks. Again, that's why it can take a little longer if we put into practice beneficial SEO, and we see movement maybe 6 months later rather than right away because it takes longer. Google goes in and indexes at a slower pace. One of the most important steps in improving your site's ranking in Google search results is to ensure that it contains plenty of rich information. So that includes relevant keywords used appropriately that indicate the subject matter of your content. However, some owners attempt to improve their page's ranking and attract visitors by creating pages with many words but little or no authentic content. So Google will actually take action against domains that try to rank more highly by just showing scrapped or other cookie-cutter pages that don't add substantial value to users. So examples can include auto-generated content, doorway pages, content from other sources, or low-quality guest blog posts, thin affiliate sites. So it's important, if you make the effort for improving your organic SEO, that you do it following Google's standards. Otherwise, it can actually harm your website and your ranking. Okay? So 5 reasons to add custom content to your marketing. 1, custom content will make your brand stand out from the abundance of competitors. 2, more people will notice your brand through social media channels because of custom content. 3, custom content provides much needed help and guidance to your customers. 4, custom content is the link between your business goals and your audience's needs. And 5, custom content is what keeps the flame alive. So custom content, what is quality custom content? Here are a few pointers that can help you get started. We want you to write at an expert level. So whether you're writing blogs or you're writing web page content or press releases, whatever it is, write at an expert level. So articles that are obviously written by a novice do not qualify as quality. We want to focus on great user experience. So the best thing you can do for a quality is to create a great experience for users. The quality guidelines call for satisfying user experience on the page and website, having descriptive comparisons of your product or your service, photos, video, again, details are huge. You want to write in a way that your client base will understand and perhaps even more fully understand what you're offering by putting it into terms that they might understand and offering your expert knowledge, which is where the value is. We want you to create more content. So Google, and I'll use Google again, that's pretty much Google is the king, so I'll be referencing that in terms of a search engine. Google remarks a high quality rating requires a satisfying amount of website information. So how much website information is a satisfying amount? It's really anyone's guess, but we do know that the top results in the search engine results pages have hundreds of words on a single page. More is better. Okay. We want you to, well, not we, but Google essentially wants us to interact with other relevant and authoritative sources. So this has to do with backlinks, which some of you may have heard of. If not, definitely want to pay attention. So in keeping with co-citation and co-occurrence best practices, make sure that you reference any authoritative sources and draw upon other recognized resources. If another website which is viewed as an expert or authoritative is linking to you for information, that's huge, and Google loves to see that. That's creating backlinks that are positive. People are coming to you as a valuable information source, and that is going to help with your ranking because Google will want to present you at the top. Make sure your site has easily accessible contact information. Again, whether you're an individual, a company, or a content site, make sure your site has the marks of a real site name, address, phone number, all of that. A quality website is backed by real people. So really important to upkeep that your information, name, address, phone number needs to be updated. It needs to be correct. Google will go through and it wants to check that it's consistent, that it's accurate. Again, it's professional, it's clean, and it's necessary to make that effort across the board that your information is up to date and correct. And then, of course, we want to keep the content fresh. Content ages, and Google wants to see that the pages are being updated and reviewed on a regular basis. So we like to see activity involved with your website. Google wants to see that you're using your website, that you're actively updating it, providing fresh content. Google then relies on you as that expert, authoritative source for specific keywords that you're writing about. A list of things you are asked to avoid. Automatically generated content. We don't want you copying and pasting from someone else as well. Participating in link schemes. It may sound like a good idea, but it is not. So no link schemes. Don't purchase backlinks. It can actually harm your website ranking, and you'll have to go in and beg for Google to forgive you. Creating pages with little or no original content. If you have a page, it should have purpose. And by purpose, we want information, whatever that may be, a service or talking about a piece of equipment you have that's special to your practice or your business, let us know about it. Cloaking, sneaky redirects, hidden text or links, doorway pages, scrapped content, participating in affiliate programs without adding sufficient value, loading pages with irrelevant keywords, creating pages with malicious behaviors such as phishing or installing viruses, Trojans, or other badware, abusing rich snippets markup, and sending automated queries to Google. A lot of these things are probably not practiced by any of you, but just be on guard and be thoughtful with how you are improving your organic SEO. The shortcut won't help you. It does take a lot of work, a lot of time, but it can have a lot of benefit for you. Like we said early on, those top 3 spots are going to be bringing in the most traffic for you. That visibility, very important. So Google does encourage monitoring your site for hacking and removing hacked content as soon as it appears. Google encourages preventing and removing user-generated spam on your site. So I know it can be hard, you're busy. A website, it's back to that tree analogy, we can't leave it and let it just gather on its own. We have to take care of it, we have to monitor it, we have to update it, keep it clean. It's almost like a living being, and Google is able to monitor all of those things. So there are two main reasons and measures for good content, really. The first will be the user. Does the user feel that the content you've produced is of high quality? Are users engaging with the content? If your visitors are staying on your website for only a few seconds, are they actually able to consume the content you have in that short period of time? Quality is in the eye of the visitor, and something about the content is not grabbing their attention. So that's where we want to revisit. If you've been working on your SEO on your own and we don't see an improvement, that's one thing to consider, is the value is in the user's eye, and Google is able to read that. The second measure would be the search engines themselves. So the engines can be used to give hints to the quality of your content, and that's going to be with your ranking. The main point here is that both the visitors to your site and the engines themselves can be used to gather feedback on how your quality is faring. Again, things to avoid when producing content: duplicate content, thin content, long videos, excessively long pages. There is it's a balancing act. Having too little or too much, it's got to be just right. It's almost an art form, and that needs to be considered when you're spending the time. Okay. Let's take a look at the next slide here. Oh, before I move on, we also want title tags and meta descriptions. So this is done actually in the back end of your website, and this is in the coding. So as I mentioned, those little robots that crawl through your web pages are actually able to go through and read the content on the front end as well as the back end. Important to have a highly optimized page, well designed, and then the meta tags give you the ability to, again, focus in on a specific keyword, long-tailed keyword, a service, geo-targeted area, rather than having a general meta tag or meta title. Important to go in and for each of those pages to thoughtfully have those written up. You'll see the title tags and the meta descriptions are actually what show up when we do a Google search result. So that's how that content is pulled from the back end, and you have control over what does it say when my website is pulled up, maybe for a particular keyword or service, and you'll see the title tags you can see in the example here on our slide, your business, and then the meta description, what you'll see there, the new patients, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's an ad, but that's showing you what that would look like as well on an organic search result. So having the ability to go in and do that takes some time, but it can be really helpful, especially being able to have it well written, eye-catching, dynamic. So we want to keep that in mind as well. PPC and SEO working together. So we've talked about pay-per-click, we've talked about organic SEO, and there's two totally different beasts. We've got, immediate, right away, we want to pay to get that fruit, or we're the longer term, putting in the effort, growing those roots for that fruitfulness on its own. We can use those at the same time, and this can be really beneficial for a business. Ideally, PPC and SEO are used together for maximum impact. Couple of reasons why. So to appear twice on the search results page can increase your brand to a consumer. It reinstates your value and your expertise in that area. To see an ad as well as to see that high ranking can really increase the number of people using you. Seeing your name repeated, seeing the saliency of that, it gives you in your brand kind of that halo effect of positive and, you know, people obviously like you, I'm going to like you kind of thing. PPC ads can actually help to boost the organic search ranking by improving your authority. So authority, like we said, or being an expert is huge, and having those pay-per-click ads can help boost your organic search rankings. So together, they can actually help benefit each other. Use the immediate feedback from your PPC campaign to test keywords and messaging and use those findings to improve your long-term SEO strategy. So this is something I love. We can use a pay-per-click campaign for immediate results. What long-tail keywords are working for us? What areas are working for us? Organic SEO, really important to have that high ranking. A lot of time and a lot of effort goes into it. How great to have a pay-per-click campaign that can give us real-time results as far as where should we put our efforts. Testing out new services that you have, maybe growing a business, part of your business in a particular area. This is a really great way to go about doing that and then implementing it into a longer-term strategy. And really, the last one here, use PPC simply so your competition can't have that space. You want to be the most visible, you want to be on top, and if you can beat out your competitors, that's great for business. And so being able to lock in that top spot for whatever service it is, whatever area it is, can be really beneficial as far as keeping new clients coming to you, keeping existing clients coming to you, and just pushing out the competition before they do that themselves. Ultimately, your marketing budget, your time frame for needing new clients, and competition are going to be factors in deciding if pay-per-click or organic SEO or both would be most effective in achieving your goals. So depending on your area and the competition, again, your own personal business goals, it's going to have a huge effect in which is going to be most beneficial for you guys. Okay, so that concludes our webinar presentation. I want to thank you for taking the time to tune in to the webinar, Online Marketing Now and Later. Keep your practice packed all year long. If anything that we covered today seems overwhelming, don't hesitate to contact us at iMatrix. We are the fastest growing online marketing agency in the industry, and we offer expert custom content services as well as other brand-specific internet marketing solutions, including mobile-friendly website designs and professionally managed paid advertising, PPC, and SEO campaigns. So call now. You can receive a free website evaluation and an exclusive attendee offer. What I would like to do, and our information is there on that slide, so feel free to give us a call if you have other questions. We have some really great team members here that would be able to help you out with that as well. I have a couple minutes here, and we'll do some Q&A. If you guys have any additional questions about something we covered, something we didn't cover, I will do my best to answer it. Go ahead and submit it in the form on the right-hand side. I'm going to wait just a couple minutes and let those gather up. So if you have the time, hang tight. If not, thank you again for being here, and we will speak to you soon. All right, so we have a couple questions here. We're going to go through them. One of them asks, should we have, quote, nearest chiropractor on our website to help with SEO? Google is actually able to read your location based on zip code. So what I would recommend here is, rather than nearest, is to include your address throughout your website. Make sure that is up to date. Google will consider that when it does its geo-targeted search results. It's able to read the IP address of the user doing the search. So if they're on their mobile phone, Google will take that into account to see where they are to provide the search results nearest them at that moment. So yes, important that we are providing where you are, and then Google will make the decision on if you're the nearest, and then your organic SEO will play a factor in, do you rank at the top or not. How effective are Facebook ads or post boosting? So we here at iMatrix do not do much as far as Facebook ads. The reason is, most of the time, if someone is, or for post boosting, if someone is following you on Facebook, they already know who you are, meaning they're probably already a client or you've had contact with them. We're more concerned with branching out from that arena. As far as Facebook ads, those are more about brand awareness. Pay-per-click is, as we spoke about earlier, very specific. If we're going to spend money on advertising, the most effective way is to thoughtfully place that ad in front of the right audience. We want those warm leads seeing it. And we have the capability with a PPC campaign to look at, like I said, those long-tailed key terms, geo-targeted areas. And lastly, most people are going to Google to do research for their purchase. Facebook is a social media platform. It is not a search engine. Most people don't go to Google or Facebook to find information about a practice. So that would be, it's more about brand awareness there. But if we're looking to actually bring in warm leads and actual people, we want to do pay-per-click with a search engine. How often do you recommend updating your website, or how often is too often? So again, we want to think of it as on a whole. We want activity linked to your website. Social media is a great way to do that. SEO on a larger scale is going to be about having quality content that we talked about. Like I said, Google will index your website every 4 to 6 weeks or so. So it takes some time. So keep that in mind as far as how often are we updating. Having a monthly blog is a great way to continue to provide fresh quality content for your website. You don't need to go in and rewrite every page. It's more about producing more quality content and focusing on the quality. Also having reviews linked to your website, Google Plus reviews, quality content, most recent. That can also help as far as Google wants to see that your website is being used, that is continually relevant. So it doesn't need to be that we change the look of it every day. We want to make sure that we are keeping it fresh. So blogs are a great way to kind of handle that, and then you can decide how often, maybe every year or two, do you want to update a particular service page that you might have spent a lot of time on. But continue to add information and focus on quality over quantity, I would say. Do all the top search engines use the same criteria as you mentioned Google does when ranking sites? So Google gets about 80% of the traffic. Yahoo's getting about 10, Bing gets about 9. There are a few others, AOL, that get less than 1%. So we're really mostly just concerned with Google and Google's algorithm because that's where most people are going anyways. But there are some overlaps. I don't know specifically what their algorithm looks like. We focus on Google because that's where we're going to have the most benefit for our efforts. So hopefully that helps. Can you give an example of a long-tailed keyword for chiropractic? Yes, so early on I gave a couple for a couple of our industries we focus on here. For chiropractor, an example of a long-tailed keyword, we could look, just simply chiropractor. That's a great keyword. Pretty generic. That might work, but there's probably a lot of competition for that. We could look exclusively if you are a chiropractor who does acupuncture or massage therapy. So long-tailed keyword would be chiropractor with acupuncture or chiropractor for auto injury, and that can also go over to vet or opto or any other industry. Is to be more specific. What is someone, if you were going to Google and you were looking, and we do this all the time, we make purchasing decisions. I mean, I do it for bread or for like a new smoothie, especially if I'm going to a new doctor or a new service. I want to look it up, and I'll just type it into Google like I'm asking a friend. So long-tailed keywords are conversational. Just how would your next door neighbor ask you? And that's what we're doing. We're just using Google in place of that. Again, if you want additional help, call and schedule an appointment. We can do a performance check, that type of thing with you, and it can be more hands-on specifically for you. I can't get into too much detail, but we have that available if you're feeling overwhelmed. Let's see. What is a long-tailed keyword? Again, chiropractor is a keyword. A long-tailed keyword is longer than one word. So chiropractor with massage therapy, or chiropractor for back injury. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Okay, and now we have, this is a little bit more specific. This might require calling in, but so for blogs, can you copy and paste a link or part of a reference article into Word, then copy it to our article or blog? I would do a quick, Google has a lot of guidelines, not to send you away, but we also have a lot of, on our iMatrix, our support website, which is support.imatrix.com. I send my clients there. It's been really helpful. It has video tutorials, step-by-step instructions on, well, for our clients, how to manage and how to do blogging and the behind-the-scenes type of thing. As far as copy and paste, we really don't want to copy and paste verbatim everything for an article. I think it's going to be specific on an each situational basis. We do want to make sure we're citing it. I would say either call in for more information on that or do a quick search online. There's just a little bit too much to go into as far as that. I apologize right now when I get through all these questions. But great question to ask, and so please follow up with that. Okay, how do we add a picture or a video to an article or blog on our site? The featured articles that iMatrix provides also appear on the other clinics' websites. Does that count as duplicate content? Yeah, so absolutely I would recommend for this particular person, call in and we can show you exactly how to do blogs. And we can either do it ourselves, we'll have video and photos for you if you have those handy. If you're more hands-on, do it yourself. Like I said, support website has it. Call in, we can help you with it. And the content that we provide is not going to negatively affect you, so you're fine on that part. And let's see, do we have any other questions regarding pay-per-click or organic SEO? Again, if you're serious about wanting to visit either of these and you want more hands-on or detailed attention, call in and have someone actually look at your site and walk you through it. If you're more hands-on, I really hope this was informative. Again, thank you for your time. We will send out this video so you'll be able to reference it at a later time. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much.